Hello, we're getting up to the anniversary of of the beginning of Circle 3, of the broadcast of Circle 3. And I thought now would be quite a good time to reflect on what's been going on because I was quite outspoken when Circle 3 was broadcast. I thought that Circle 3 was an appalling show. I thought it was a logical development of the show that I was on, and that was not an attractive feature. I think that putting people in a sort of scientific experiment, as I was invited to participate in, is interesting. But these people need to be supported, and I didn't feel that there was proper support. I don't think this is about the production company. I don't think it's about the television channel. I think it's about the rules that need to be set up to protect people involved, ordinary people involved in television production. So that means that if somebody is actually going to be on a TV show, they should be treated in the same way as anybody else on a TV show. They should have access to agents, reputable agents who are independent of the production company. They should have access to a reputable union who can support the work that they are doing. Because if somebody is on television night after night in a reality TV show, this isn't a game. This is work, and it's incredibly hard work. I know, I was there. Now, I'm one of the luckier people. First of all, I won. And secondly, I am represented by the Union Equity. At least I am finally represented by the Union Equity. But I know most people are not. And Equity doesn't seem remotely interested in helping. I've spoken again and again to the man who controls that union, and he's just not interested. Now, in the early 1960s, the Union Equity joined with another union which is much older and, in my view, much more responsible. It was called the Variety Artists Federation. And it was set up in, I think, 1907 or something, and it led to one of the first union strikes, which closed all the theatres in London. And the great Mary Lloyd was there at the front of the protests. And indeed, this was one reason why she wasn't featured in the Royal Variety Command performance. And the Variety Artists Federation took the view that anybody who was performing was worthy of representation. Because people who are performing, people who are giving their all for entertainment, should not be abused by management. Now, management may not be intending to abuse anybody, but it's all about perception. And we need independent advice, we need independent support so that we can put things in perspective, so we have proper perception. We don't get perception by looking just through one eye that is chosen for us. We get proper perception by being given advice by different peoples and by being given independent advice. Now, if the union and if agents and if production companies are not ready to do this, then we need the law to step in and help. The present government, or at least the previous government, Mrs. May's government, set up a committee to look into the problem of reality TV because of the mess with the Jeremy Kyle show and the suicides connected to Love Island. Love Island continues. I cannot understand how such a scurrilous program can continue and how people can have died because of that program. Yet there it is in our schedules. And I'm sure it makes a lot of money. But I don't see that people should be dying in order to provide us with entertainment. Let's say the government called a committee and then stopped that committee when Boris called an election, and the committee was never reconvened. Only 4 people testified to the committee. Only 4, what should we call them, contestants or participants? I would prefer the word participant. Only 4 participants testified. Lots of people from production staff testified. I consider that a very distorted picture. And it's led to a series of rules which basically enshrine in law or in at least some sort of ruling the status quo, what already exists. It gives the impression we've done something. We've done nothing. People are still miserable. And indeed, the Circle, the production I was in, operated pretty well under those rules, and it still failed. When I looked for support, it wasn't there. I know other people who looked for support. It wasn't there. The production company, of course, apologised. It really wasn't the production company's fault. It's the fault of the system itself. That comes down to the government. The government is casual and is not interested. If it were interested, it would set up a ministry that was focused on the performing arts, on theatre, on television. But it hasn't. It set up a ministry for everything else, a ministry for digital media, culture and sport. I don't understand the combination at all. We need a proper ministry, and we need a minister who actually responds to letters that are sent to her. She seems to have so much time on her hands that she can respond to almost anything else, and she can toady around after Boris. This is not what I expect of the minister that I write to. I wrote to her in September. I wrote to her predecessor about a year ago, maybe more than that. I have never received a proper reply from either. I asked for a meeting. I've not had the courtesy of a proper response from either. Now, Oliver Dowden is now the chairman of the Conservative Party. This is laughable. If he couldn't run his own ministry, I don't see that he can run the Conservative Party, but he's proving that rather well. Nadine Dorries doesn't seem to be able to do anything either. I have asked and asked and asked. I think what I'm asking for is quite simple. I'm asking for a bit of courtesy, and I'm asking to be heard. I also think that the reality TV industry is in need of proper support. I think it's a popular industry. I'm really proud to have been involved in it. But unless it gets proper support, it will stab itself in the foot. It will kill itself. Because an industry cannot constantly be recording suicides from people who are involved in that industry. Suicides from people who are entertaining us. This isn't the way entertainment works. We are not supporting a sort of gladiatorial game show. We are providing entertainment on the telly, and that's what it should be. It should be fun for the people who are participating. It should be fun for the people who are watching. I'd really appreciate your thoughts on this. I hope I'm not sticking my neck out too far.